Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the first inaugural 3 p.m. City Council meeting. Today is July 8th, 2025. I will call to order this meeting. We will start off with an invocation by Chaplain Randy Ma of Riverside County Sheriff's Office, and then I will lead you all in the flag salute. So if you would all please stand. Welcome.
Let us pray. Father, I thank you for your incredible love for all of us here today, for those who know you as their Lord and Savior, and for those who do not know you, which I pray that someday they will come to know you as their Lord and Savior and experience that abundant and eternal life with him he promised all his children. I pray for the Holy Spirit to be present today to give our leaders and participants your wisdom, guidance, grace, and mercy, especially to Mayor Brendan Kalfas, Mayor Pro Tem Jessica Alexander, Council Member Matt Ron, Council Member Zach Swank, Council Member James Stu Stewart. I pray that the agenda for this meeting reflects your will for the city of Temecula and the county of Riverside, the state of California, and the United States of America. I rebuke any spirits of pride, self-will, confusion, anxiety, fear, and lies from this meeting and command you to all go to the abyss where you belong. I pray, Father, your love, your truth, will, and righteousness emanate from everyone who is present here this afternoon. And Father, I pray that your will be done in this meeting and every subsequent council meeting, and that whatever transpires here would glorify your name, so that the city of Temecula may become that city on the hill that cannot be hid, spoken of in Scripture. I pray that Temecula would shine forth its light before men, that they may see Temecula's good works, which glorifies you who are in heaven. I also pray that your people of this city, Temecula, would humble themselves and pray and seek your face and turn from their wicked ways, and you will hear them from heaven and forgive their sin and heal their land. And so, Father, through the power of your Holy Spirit, let this humbleness and seeking of your face begin with each of us who are here this afternoon. I thank you and praise you, Father. And I ask and pray all these things in the name of my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, who with the Father and the Holy Spirit lives and reigns, one God, now and forever. Amen.
Amen. If you could all face the flag, place your right hand over your heart and repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam City Clerk, we have the roll call, please.
Yes, Councilmember Alexander? Here. Mayor Kalfas?
Here.
Councilmember Ron?
Here.
Councilmember Schwank?
Here.
Councilmember Stewart?
Here. All right, we are all here today. We will start off with our presentations. We have a few internal presentations. And Madam City Clerk, would you like to read off that first one while I walk down to the podium?
Sure, I would be happy to, and we will invite up Community Services Manager James Willcox to the podium, please. The City of Temecula congratulates James Willcox for his retirement after 28 years of dedicated service to the City of Temecula's Community Services Department. James started working for the city in 1997 as a part-time employee and became a full-time employee in 1999. Throughout his career, James has overseen multiple sports parks, rinks, tournaments, gymnasiums, and courts. As Community Services Manager, he also oversaw the Park Ranger program and played a key role in sports-related joint use agreements with the Temecula Valley Unified School District. James has been an exemplary, loyal, and compassionate employee, known for his unwavering integrity and steadfast commitment to the community. The City of Temecula congratulates James Willcox as he embarks on his well-deserved retirement and wishes him continued success in his future endeavors. Congratulations, James.
We'd love to hear a few words from you.
Okay. Let's try this. Well, let's start off with a fun fact. I've been here 28 years. This is the first time I've had to sit at this podium in front of council. So is that a good thing or a bad thing? I'll let you guys determine that. But it's been an amazing journey. Can't say enough about the city. Being the privilege to serve our residents, not only our external customers, but our internal customers as well. City has an amazing team. They come here, they work hard, they're here for the right reasons, and just been a blessing for me to be here and be a part of that for that long. Maybe Stu can, since he's the historian person, can correct me if I'm wrong, but when I started in the mid-90s, I believe there was around 40,000 Temecula residents, give or take. And pretty small community when I started, and just the council and the executive staff and our stakeholders, they had this vision, and I was so amazed of what they wanted to do to build these parks, facilities, one we're in today, programs, special events, roads, freeways, you name it. And I think they nailed it. I think everyone did a great job, and I'm so proud that I had a part of being part of that building phase. I know Aaron mentioned a couple of council meetings ago that we're in a maintenance phase now, and so that kind of tells you where our city is at the time. We're not toddlers anymore. But thank you. Thank you for this opportunity once again. And I guess how special the city of Temecula is to me compared to most people here. I have to call a few people out. But some of you may know and may not know that I have had an opportunity to work with a long life friend for over 48 years. I've known this gentleman, 30 years, basically 3 decades working with him alongside in the same department. You guys know him as Mr. Roundabout Temecula, Jeff Lawrence. So I'd like to give a clap to Jeff, my buddy. Don't know how many people can say that they work with one of their best friends. But even better than that, believe it or not, yes, James, it gets better. Met my lovely wife here at the city of Temecula. And she's our community service manager for aquatics, and had an opportunity to work with her for over 25 years. So not just my best friend, but my wife, I've had an opportunity to work alongside with them amongst an amazing team in the community service department. So thank you for giving me that opportunity. I'll look at Becky. Thank you, HR, for making this work for me. But I appreciate the recognition at this time, and I don't want to take too much of your guys' time because you guys have a busy meeting. But there are a few people that I would like to recognize. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time to recognize all the people, but there are a few people special to me that I'd like to thank, and start off with that, and then we'll wrap it up. I wouldn't be the employee I am today without the mentorship and guidance of these two individuals. They're incredible. Their support, insight, and example have shaped me in more ways than I can count. And that would be Lorianne Amavisca and Julie Pelletier. So if we can give them a clap. Appreciate it. Incredible ladies, incredible leaders. And speaking of leaders, this is a stacked roster, Brandon. Use that term like roster. Stacked roster of people that have allowed me to, for the time I've been here in 28 years, to serve underneath them and get leadership and guidance from them as well. Starting off with our very first community service director, Sean Nelson, everyone knows, became our city manager. And then we had our gentle giant, Herman Parker, for quite a while. And yes, even Aaron Adams was a community service director. Now he's our city manager. Sitting right next to him, Kevin Hawkins, community service director, now our assistant city manager. And then last but not least, our current director for community services, Erica Russo. So I want to thank you all for all your support and your love through this journey. I will not forget you guys. So thank you. We all know basically most of us spend more time at work than we do at home. And so I can't go without saying my extended family of the Community Service Department. I know they're out there throughout there. They're my brothers, they're my sisters. We've had some great times, some laughters, a few tears, good tears, a few tears. When are we getting done with the parade? So we became a family. They'll always be my family. I thank them for all their assistance, guidance, and support. Special thank you to the sports division. I know a couple of them are here tonight. Those are the guys that are in the front lines and actually making me look good. So special thank you to them. I'd like to thank my family and friends. I see a couple of them out here. I got Mark and Kathy Anselmo. I got Diane and Jeff Lawrence. Saw Mr. Shea up there representing. Mr. Bo Davis, are you here? Not yet. He's coming from City Lake Elsinore to represent tonight, but he wanted to make it, but since we changed the time, so just wanted to show them. They've gotten through some tough times with us, and I really wanted to recognize them. My love and support to my family, my mom, my dad, my sister, my children, Alex, Hannah, and Katie. Special thank you because there's many nights that they had to sit at the dinner table listening to mom and dad talk about work. Boring. So thank them. A special thank you to my adopted daughter, Macy. And last but not least, my lovely wife. She's my rock. She's my ride or die. It's been an amazing journey. I love you. Thank you.
Well said. I know I have some colleagues and some city staff that would have a few words to say as well. Councilmember Schwenk.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. James, congratulations first and foremost. We've had quite a few these retirements, recently, and it's hard. And I think I met you at least in an official capacity in 2012 when I came on as a commissioner, and remember doing some of the sports council field allocations and some of that sports work with you. It's someone like yourself and some of the other folks that have recently retired. You've given years and decades of your life to the city, and that's impressive. And that's, maybe it's part of just the time we're in right now. The city's, 35 plus years old, whatever, and we're getting into that. But the fact that we have so many longtime employees that have given so much to this community, and that just makes me proud. I'm like kind of getting a little chills thinking about it, honestly, because that's what makes this community so great, is the long-timers like yourself, right, that have given day in, day out. And you talked about your work at the dinner table. You'll never look at a city in another way. We've had some of these conversations about you'll never see the city in the same way, right? You've worked like the internal bones of the city for so long. Maybe if you find a way to do that and stop thinking about it, let me know, because it's very difficult. But I couldn't be more proud of the work that you've done while you've been here. the example that you've set, the bar that you've set. You'll be missed. You'll definitely be missed, and I wish you the best. I don't know where you're embarking on next, but I hope it isn't too far, and I hope you stick around and continue to enjoy what you've helped build over the last 30 years. So,
Absolutely.
thanks, James.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Jack.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Thank you, Mayor. James, thank you so much for all your dedication to the city. Never heard a bad thing out of your mouth. We've had several meetings, and you're actually pretty quiet during most of those meetings, but I know that you're such a big help in the background, and you've left a big legacy here after 28 years. So I just thank you for your dedication, and I just wish you many blessings on your next journey and your road ahead. So thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you, Jessica.
Yep.
Well, yeah, it's always like losing a bit of your family, the familiar faces you've seen for years around City Hall, the contributions you've all made, and clear love for the city. You wouldn't be here this long if not for, obviously, your wife, but also just, the love and passion that you've always shown us. We can't thank you enough for everything you've given to this city. Really appreciate it. Don't be a stranger. I know you're not going to be, and we expect to see you at plenty of parades and other fun events too. But seriously, it is hard to see folks go, because we know the time, the effort, the work that you've put into making the city what it is, and the community respects you. I know they love the work that you've done, and you'll definitely be missed. But thank you for all the work you've done.
Thank you, Matt.
Well, as someone who moved here in 1991, one of the very first things I did was join a softball team. So the fact that you were in charge of fields was one of those great pleasures for me. Living here in Temecula was actually utilizing what the city has to offer. And the city has a lot to offer, and you're part of that reason we have, that to offer. So I wanted to thank you for, all your dedication and service to the community. And what makes it even a little bitter but sweet is to know the staff behind you is ready to, pick up the gauntlet and keep going. So thank you for your service.
Great. Thank you, Stu.
Mr. City Manager?
Sure. You want me to go before you, Mr. Mayor? James, clearly I should have invited you to the city council podium more often if this was the first time. I know there's a lot of colleagues and friends, and if you're here to honor James Willcox, TCSD city staff, would you please stand? James, I want you to turn around and see everybody that's here in support of you. Let's give them a round of applause. A lot of love, James. A lot of friends. A lot of years. I just want to thank you for your dedication to the city of Temecula. 28 years is so respectable and amazing. I agree with you. Temecula is a blessed city. It's a special place to call an employer. And I would submit that when you came into the city, in the division and the discipline that you came into, you've almost worked in 2 sports careers in what would amount to most cities. Between the mid-90s and today, and what the city of Temecula did in the way of sports, development, parks, most cities would be honored to have accomplished a fraction of that in one career, right, or individuals. So you did amazing. You got to ride this with a lot of us. And then on that same vein, you've had to navigate one of the more challenging disciplines of all, TCSD, which would be sports fields allocations. And you're still standing, and you survived. So I applaud you for that. But no, in all seriousness, may God bless you, James, you and Gwen, your lovely family, and all your friends. It's great to see recently retired faces here. But thank you, James. You did an amazing job, and I know I have a couple colleagues. I'm going to hand off to Kevin, and I know Erica probably has some things to say. So thank you, sir. Thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Well, I think you pretty much summed it up. But James, it's just seeing you here reminds me that while I was there in community services, that you were one of the lower maintenance, higher character personalities that I've ever come across. And I think the outpouring of love here shows and demonstrates that. Aaron talked about kind of how you navigated a very tough discipline, trying to supply the demand of sports and the lack of capacity for fields and programs. And you somehow were able to accomplish that and deal with the personalities. And you talked about the internal and the external customers, and you knew how to deal with everyone just by being yourself. It's also fitting that you're going out around the same time as your buddy because you two were so close, and everyone knows that relationship. But I just appreciate what you have done over the years. Gwen, what you continue to do. Your family has been a blessing. What folks don't know is for special occasions, for holidays or whatnot, how we would exchange scripture or well wishes or the cookies around the holidays, right? It's that personal touch. It was the TCSD touch, but it's also the Temecula touch in the Temecula way. And you embody that. And so you deserve this. Congratulations. We appreciate and love you. And just thank you. Well deserved. Well deserved.
Thank you. Thank you, Kevin.
Erica?
Thanks. James, what can I say that everyone else hasn't already said, except I want everyone to know that you have been this backbone of just encyclopedic knowledge in our department. And your longevity in our department James is the guy I could always go to when I wanted to know, what was the history on this item? What happened here? How did we end up where we are? And James could always provide that context for me. And the other thing that I just admired and respected so much and depended on so much with James was that he always put and projected the impacts on the city and put that priority first. So when we would talk about maybe changing a policy or when we would talk about doing something a little differently, he would be the one at the table who could always point out what those impacts would be that maybe some of us hadn't thought of. And you will be missed. You will be missed as an individual, and your knowledge and wisdom that you brought to our team will also be missed as well. So I wish you the very best in your retirement. Together with Gwen, Alex, Hannah, Katie, all of you, I hope you really enjoy this time because it is very, very, very well earned. And thank you.
Thank you.
Well, everyone's words show how special you are. You know, it's people like you that have built the foundation, like you said earlier, that allow us now to maintain the city. But without people like you, we wouldn't have what we have here in Temecula. So you will be sorely missed. If I would have known that you were friends with my kindergarten teacher, Miss Kathy Anselmo there, we could have had more conversation. That's pretty awesome. Small little fun fact there. But you're going to be genuinely missed. On behalf of City of Temecula, we have the certificate of recognition, but we also have this gift for you.
Oh.
It's usually difficult to unwrap, but I wish you the best of luck in unwrapping it.
I wonder what it is.
And after you do that, if the family would love to come up and take a picture with the gift, and if my council colleagues would want to come down, that would be greatly appreciated. You will be missed, and congratulations. I told you it wasn't easy.
I think they do this on purpose.
There we go.
See you soon. I appreciate it.
All right, Madam City Clerk, I believe we have another proclamation presentation here, if you want to read that off.
Yes, we are going to keep the love for Parks and Rec going because it is Parks and Recreation Month, and we're going to go ahead and read the proclamation. I'm just going to ask that we close the doors in the back. Wonderful. Thank you. Mr. Mayor, we are proclaiming Parks and Recreation Month this month, whereas Parks and Recreation Month is celebrated every year in the month of July to showcase the many benefits of parks, programs, facilities, and services, and to increase awareness of the importance of access to parks, recreation trails, and open space. And whereas Parks and Recreation create memorable experiences for the citizens of Temecula through youth sports and enrichment classes, teen and senior centers and programs, adult fitness and leisure activities, free community events and workshops, and whereas Parks and Recreation helps improve physical and mental health by providing space for sports, hiking, biking, swimming, and many other activities that promote active lifestyles as well as positive social engagement, and whereas Parks and Recreation support human development and endless learning opportunities that foster social, intellectual, physical, and emotional growth in people of all ages and abilities, and whereas Parks and Recreation strengthen our community identity and sense of place by providing museums, theaters, libraries, and recreation centers that reflect and celebrate our community character, heritage, culture, history, aesthetics, and landscape, and whereas Parks and Recreation increases our community's economic prosperity through increased property values, expansion of local tax base, increased tourism, the attraction and retention of businesses, and crime reduction. Now, therefore, you, Mayor Brandon Kalfas, on behalf of the City of Temecula, hereby proclaim the month of July 2025 to be Parks and Recreation Month and urge all residents to join in this special observance. And with that, I'll go ahead and invite Parks and Recreation staff and the Director of Parks and Recreation Community Services to offer some words and accept the proclamation.
Thank you so much. I'm just going to invite anybody who is in here still with Community Services. I know the majority of the team went out with James to celebrate, so that'll be done. Yeah, I'd just like to invite anybody who is available to just come in and come up, because Parks and Rec is a really big umbrella, and as you heard from the proclamation, we interact with and interface with the community in so many different ways. And I believe truly that this department is the heartbeat of the community, so we're very pleased to be here this evening.
And I see some staff returning, so if you all want to come to the podium, Parks and Recreation Community Services staff will go ahead and present the proclamation.
We'll have a couple of the council members if they want to say something real quick before you come down.
No, I just wanted to see if you want us to come down. I'm
Oh,
good.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We'll have all the colleagues come down. So on behalf of the City of Temecula, while they're walking down, the proclamation for Parks and Recreation. You guys are, like you said, the heartbeat of the city.
We got the sports team coming down. Come on. Here we go. We love to make an entrance. Right?
All right, and with that, we'll move on to the public safety report. Lieutenant Pearson, if you want to have the deputies come up that will be presented the awards, that would be phenomenal. We can do the awards first if that's okay.
Lieutenant Pearson, since we are going to do the awards first, we'll go ahead and invite up deputies as well. Come on up to the podium, and we will keep those back doors closed to minimize noise. Welcome, deputies. So good to have you here.
So as you know, your traffic team works tirelessly at enforcing traffic laws that promote the safety and well-being of Temecula residents, as well as the thousands of visitors that come to the Temecula Valley every day. Part of those efforts include locating and arresting impaired drivers. DUI is a serious offense that plagues every community. Impaired drivers are not only a threat to their own personal safety, but we have seen time and time again how impaired drivers often injure or kill other motorists, bicyclists, and pedestrians in traffic collisions caused by their own impairment. For these reasons, it is imperative that DUI enforcement remains a high priority within the day-to-day responsibilities of your deputies assigned to the traffic enforcement team. With that in mind, I am pleased to share with you that in May 2025, the 4 deputies in front of you were nominated and received an award from the Inland Empire Office of Mothers Against Drunk Driving, or MAD, for their outstanding individual efforts in DUI enforcement during the calendar year 2024. MAD was founded in 1980 by Candy Leitner after her 13-year-old daughter, Carrie, was killed by a drunk driver. The name, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, reflects its origins as a grassroots movement led by grieving mothers determined to prevent similar tragedies. MAD exists to eliminate drunk and drug driving, support victims and their families, and prevent underage drinking. Through advocacy, public awareness campaigns, and legislative efforts, MAD pushes for stricter DUI laws, advanced vehicle safety technologies, and education to create safer roads. The organization honors law enforcement annually to recognize its role in enforcing these laws, apprehending impaired drivers, and contributing to MAD's vision of no more victims. Deputies who made a minimum of 25 DUI arrests throughout the calendar year are eligible for a MAD award, while those with 100 or more arrests qualify for MAD's Century Award. It should be noted that DUI investigations and arrests are extremely involved and one of the more tedious investigations deputies will encounter. Successful prosecution of impaired drivers requires adherence to strict and specific investigative steps, important administrative admonishments, collection of evidence, and ultimately a detailed and well-documented arrest report. Without it, holding impaired drivers accountable in court is impossible. With that, the Southwest Station traffic deputies serving the city of Temecula and recognized by MAD for their efforts in 2024 are Deputy Stephanie Ott with 27 DUI arrests, Corporal Trevor Downs with 37 DUI arrests, Deputy Joshua Kale with 83 DUI arrests, and Deputy Christopher Grimm with an impressive 100 DUI arrests. I thank you all for your dedication, professionalism, and commitment to the mission in protecting and making the city of Temecula a safer place to live and visit. Please join me in congratulating these deputies for their award and efforts around DUI enforcement.
Christopher Grimm. Thank you very much. Joshua Kale. Thank you very much. Mr. Downs. Thank you very much. Stephanie. Thank you very much. It's deputies like you that keep our streets safe, so we cannot thank you enough for all the work that you continuously do day in and day out, especially DUIs. That's not an easy, like you said, investigation, not an easy report, and all the things you have to do after that initial contact. So we thank you, and we appreciate you, and respect everything you do. Thank you again. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everybody. For this presentation, I'm going to cover both May and June 2025. As you can see on the screen in front of you guys, the month of May resulted in 5,747 calls for service. That covers our all priority calls right there, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Next slide, please. So this is a breakdown of those calls. So for the month of May, there were 55 priority 1 calls, 1,845 priority 2 calls, 2,413 priority 3 calls, and 1,372 priority 4 calls. Next slide, please. The breakdown of these priority calls, we have 10 juvenile medical aid calls, 8 traffic collisions, miscellaneous non-criminals, also 6 robberies, 3 attempted suicides, 2 public assist calls, 2 burglaries, 2 missing children, 2 firing at a dwelling, which is a handgun or a rifle, 2 aggravated assaults, 1 unattended death, 1 hit and run with injury, a suspicious circumstance, domestic disturbance, a prowler call, a felony fight, that's a battery, and then a bomb threat, a 5150 kidnapping, and a theft. Next slide, please. For the month of June, we fielded 5,703 calls for service. And next slide, please. A breakdown is 59 priority 1 calls, 2,121 priority 2 calls, 2,283 priority 3 calls, and 1,163 for priority 4 calls. Next slide, please. And the breakdown of those calls, we had 20 juvenile medical aids, 7 traffic collisions, 6 assist other departments, 6 burglaries, 3 robberies, 3 attempt suicides, 3 hit and runs, 3 aggravated assaults, 2 mentally disturbed persons, unknown trouble, suspicious circumstance, a drowning, unfortunately, and a public disturbance, a public assist, and another missing child. Next slide, please. That just covers that. So that concludes my public safety report, sir.
Thank you very much, Lieutenant. Any questions or comments from my colleagues? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to public comments on non-agenda items. Madam City Clerk, do we have any public comments tonight?
Yes, we do, Mr. Mayor. We actually have 14 public comments on non-agendized item. Each speaker has up to 3 minutes, and we will go ahead. All other rules are reflected on the agenda, and we will go ahead and start with Chris Bailey, to be followed by Mickey Arnett. Welcome, Chris.
Good evening. Chris Bailey here from Bailey's Restaurant. Several weeks ago, we canceled our outdoor music. Just could not handle the continued citations for noise. I spent the day today with most all of you, and I want to thank you so very, very much for the time today. I think we achieved a lot. It has always been our intention to get this particular issue solved with some sound mitigation so that we can all coexist peacefully in Old Town. I do want to say that I hope that this kind of opens a window for a conversation about where we're headed with Old Town Temecula here, and live music especially. We did not ask these people here today to come to speak. They came on their own accord, and I think it just illustrates that this is a big community issue and we all need to solve it together. And again, I think we made a huge progress today. And again, I just really want to say thank you very, very much. So that's it.
The next speaker is Mickey Arnett, to be followed by Denise Lanier.
Hello. I'm usually hiding behind a guitar right now, so My name's Mickey Arnett. I've been performing musician in the Temecula Valley for about 15 years, and I'm here to protest the restrictions on live music. The constant attempts by the city to limit music via permitting and noise requirements in Old Town has decimated the incomes of hundreds of musicians here in the valley, as well as the overall vibe in Old Town. Many of us locals no longer go into Old Town because of these changes and lack of live music as compared to past times. I can personally point to at least a 25% reduction in the work that I take from Temecula due to this trend. Furthermore, I want to address the arbitrary limit set of roughly 75 decibels. The following is a list of things that are typically 75 decibels: a washing machine, a dishwasher, a coffee maker, non-peak traffic noise, normal person-to-person conversation, and your engine noise when you're inside a car. Flip-flops on cement are higher than that. The things that are above 75, car horns, espresso machines, motorcycle exhausts, wait staff singing happy birthday, chefs calling line orders, closing a car door, two plates hitting each other, cell phone ringtone, DJs, and every karaoke night ever in existence. I mean, at least we can sing on pitch. So live bands seem to not be a okay thing here in Temecula anymore. Karaoke nights, bachelorette parties, singing Sweet Caroline seem to be perfectly okay. I have no issue with any of those things, but except for the inequity. The point is this arbitrary limit is set to appease people who knowingly moved into an entertainment district. This is impossible to attain. Just walking down Old Town today, I started at 1909, I walked to Fifth Street, up Fifth Street, this is Tuesday at 1:45. The ambient average decibel walking down the sidewalk with us not speaking at all was 84 decibels. That's doing that circle. I have tested multiple other areas in Old Town. You cannot walk down the street and have an average decibel that would meet the requirements that as a musician I am supposed to meet playing at Bailey's, 12, 15 feet from the stage? So we cannot, it makes it impossible. As a band, sonically we can't do it. It is not possible. As a business, music attracts people. Half the people that come talk to me at a gig don't know who I am. They heard me walking down the street and walk into the venue because of that. That's why they hire us. If they can't project at least outside of the footprint of their own venue, then they cannot make money having bands. So therefore, they will stop hiring us entirely. There's just no way for the two things to happen at the same time. Hosting live music is supposed to be a positive impact for the community. It draws people in, it supports the businesses.
Thank you, sir. That is your 3 minutes. Appreciate you.
Okay, thank you.
Denise, welcome. And then following Denise is Steve Defender.
Welcome, Denise.
Well,
If you move it up a little bit.
I do not know how to adjust.
If you push it up. Yep. Keep
Okay.
going, bingo.
Thank you. Okay. Good afternoon, Mayor, council members, city staff, and the viewing audience. I'm Denise Lanier, a volunteer for Thrifting for Gifting. Thrifting for Gifting, you may ask, what is that? After serving our local communities for over 36 years, Assistance League of Temecula Valley has given ourselves a new name and a new look. As of June 1st, 2025, the Assistance League of Temecula Valley is now called Thrifting for Gifting. I have the new logo. Our teddy bears have the new logo. We have new aprons with the new logo. We have decided to refresh our thrift shop look along with our philanthropic program names to better reflect exactly what we do as a nonprofit, 100% volunteer organization. You can still count on friendly volunteers to assist you as you donate, as well as bargain shop at our newly refreshed thrift shop. Your donations and shopping will continue to help fund the 6 philanthropic programs we have been supporting throughout the past 36 years. There are some new program names, but the services remain the same. Our programs include School Zone which was formerly known as Operation School Bell. Stepping Up for Tots was known as SOS. Then there's scholarships, foster and homeless youth support, Bear Hug, and nonprofit partnerships, minus the word operation. Our teens even came up with a new name, Volunteens. We are looking forward to continuing to see you at our donation door and shopping in our spruced up thrift shop, which in turn continues to help our local families and students thrive. If you don't already know where we are located, our address is 28720 Via Montezuma, and right here in Temecula. Come check us out. Our website is thrifting4gifting.org. As you are thrifting, we are gifting, with all the proceeds continuing to go to the programs and communities we serve. As always, thank you for your past support as we look forward to continuing to work together with you in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next speaker is Steve Defendifer, followed by Joanna Pearl.
Thank you.
Hi, go ahead, Steve. I'm just kind of jumping in with Steve. I didn't get a chance to submit my paperwork, but I'm an attorney. I have been living in Temecula recently. I am also a musician. I'm here to speak up on behalf of our music community because I believe that the restrictions that are imposed on our live music may be a violation of the First Amendment rights. As we understand, we have time, place, manner restrictions that have to be abided by if we're going to impose restrictions on freedom of speech, which is our constitutional rights. And I believe these unfairly target live music. So I'd like to discuss ways in which we can narrowly tailor such restrictions so that we're not imposing undue burden on our music industry, on our Old Town live music, Temecula, and on the businesses that support live music.
Thank you. I want to echo the same concerns. We discussed this being a community. I've lived in Temecula for 15 years. The first 10 years, I drove to work, came home, thought nothing of the community. 5 years ago, I joined the music industry, started playing, and found an amazing community where we all get together, celebrate weekly with each other. Birthdays, celebrations, and even sadness, passing of friends in this community. And for the first time in my 50-plus years, I feel a part of a community. This is the first time. I've lived all over Southern California. This is the first time. And hopefully we can not divide this group, and we can bring together and find a solution together to keep this. Because we don't want to go somewhere else and play the music. We want to stay here in Temecula where we love it. And we're very happy to be here.
Thank you for hearing us out.
Thank you. Next speaker, Joanna. And Joanna is followed by Daniel Billen.
Good afternoon. Normally when I see you guys' faces, I'm about to sing the national anthem, but not today. Okay. So my name is Joanna Pearl. I'm a singer-songwriter here in Temecula, resident, local musician, community advocate, as well as the president of this nonprofit called Make Music Temecula. I'm here to share my support for live music in our community and highlight why it is essential to preserve live music while finding balance and solutions regarding the noise concerns. Why live music matters in Temecula. Live music drives foot traffic to local businesses, helping our restaurants, wineries, breweries, and shops stay afloat. It attracts tourism, strengthening our local economy. It builds community, providing safe, joyful spaces for neighbors and families to connect. My personal impact as a local musician, I've seen firsthand how live music brings together people and helps businesses thrive. I know you have too. It also provides artists with a way to share their gifts and sustain themselves through their craft locally and more often than not globally, as demonstrated by acts like Olivia Rodrigo, Tori Kelly, Michaela Phillips, Cody Lee, Temecula Road, the Brew Boys, and soon Joanna Pearl. I understand concerns about the noise, and I agree that we should be respectful of our neighbors. However, I believe we can find a reasonable solution rather than shutting down live music entirely, such as setting reasonable decibel limits during specific hours, exploring sound mitigation options like directional speakers and acoustic panels, creating a permitting system that has clear guidelines instead of blanket bans, and possibly revisiting the zoning. In closing, I encourage the council to work with musicians, businesses, and residents to find a balanced solution that keeps our community vibrant while respecting our neighbors. Thank you for your time and considering the voices of the residents on this matter. And I would be happy to help with these discussions as well. Thank you.
Welcome, Daniel, and then after Daniel is Kimberly Bode.
Thank you very much. My name is Daniel Billen. I'm a local resident of Marietta, local businessman, been in the area for 28 years. I'm just here to support the local live music that's been in this town, and the musicians and the restaurant owners and whatnot that host all the live music. It's been a fundamental part of what has made this town and Old Town Temecula a hot spot for not just only the locals, but beyond. I think if it were come down to a popular vote, if it were on a ballot, I'm pretty confident there'd be an overwhelming majority voting for loud live music over a 75 decibel restriction. Those of us that have been around long enough, like since the beginning or when you remember dirt sidewalks and only one live music venue in town, well, I remember that. And overall, Temecula's got a lot to offer. There's a lot of great family values like the quality school district, the parks, sports, the wineries, etc. But as far as Old Town Temecula goes, you could easily say, we built this city on rock and roll. And if it's too loud, you're too old.
Kimberly, welcome. And then after Kimberly is Robert McCoy.
Hello, everyone. I'm just your average Temecula resident that moved from Orange County a few years ago. And one of the reasons that I moved here was a friend of mine brought me to Old Town. And I thought, this is incredible. There's nothing like it anywhere else I've been. And even in England. And so I'm here basically to plead with you and let you know how magical music is for everyone. I don't have any musical bone in my body, but I feel music. It affects everyone. And what I'm asking you is to please listen to all of these voices and these concerns from these people that live here. There's nothing like Temecula. There's nothing like Old Town. There's nothing like all the restaurants and all the music that we've had. And so I was absolutely overwhelmed and so saddened to hear of all your restrictions on the noise levels. I'm surmising it's because of the new properties being put up in the hills, which of course I was so incredibly saddened to see that take place. You know, those beautiful hills ruined, but again, you have your reasons. We understand. But in this world we live in right now, it's such an unhappy place. There's so much mental everything going on with everyone. So please don't take our music away as well. Please don't stop all of these talented performers from doing what they do best and bringing the community together. I mean, how many people do we have here in Temecula Valley? In the city I came from, it was about 45,000 people in Orange County. There was nothing like the sense of community that there is here in Temecula. That's why I'm here. The sense of freedom, the beauty, everything you offer is phenomenal. I want to be an ambassador for you. By the way, if anyone wants to let me say the word, spread the word, I'll do it, because I walk so proudly when I bring people to Temecula with everything we have, including the wineries, of course. But don't just limit the musicians to the wineries or the casinos. This is what is so wonderful about Temecula, is our old town. Keep it that way. Keep it original, keep it unique. Please, I'm begging you. You know, I have no affiliation with anyone. I'm just so concerned. And I'm like, okay, I need to come out and speak here. So this is why I'm here. Please listen to everyone. It's such an important issue. And there's a lot of money, and I've got 27 seconds left. There's a lot of money on the table, too, that is going out the window for Temecula and all your taxes. And please, don't up the homeowners' taxes because of the revenue lost in Old Town's entertainment district. Okay? Please. Because you're going to have to make the money up somewhere else. We know that for a fact. And 2, 1, I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you, Kimberly. Welcome, Robert. And after Robert is Kyle Hudson.
Well, it's kind of tough to follow that passion. I'm kind of representing the little guy in the music community. We benefit greatly from places like Bailey's, who will put us in there on a Sunday evening so that we can show the community what we have to offer. We're not. I play in a band that's, we're not particularly new. We don't have a particularly large following, but we benefit greatly from that exposure that we get in places like Bailey's. From my perspective, we just need to keep that alive, and I think that we can come up with a lot of win-win situations to where we can make this thing work. So that's it.
Thank you. Next up is Kyle, and then following Kyle is Kevin Scarborough.
My name is Kyle Hudson with the band Those Guys. I come to you today seeking open communication, transparency, and honesty. I've been performing in the Temecula Valley for 12 years, and I'm grateful for the opportunities you provide for us musicians, entertainers, particularly in Old Town Temecula. I am blessed to be able to call this passion my job, but unfortunately in recent years, it's become significantly harder to work in your great city. This is due to a citywide sound ordinance that was put in place in 2006, but has only recently been enforced since 2022. Bailey's in Old Town has had to cancel all live bands for the remainder of 2025 due to the escalating enforcement and fines from the city of Temecula, who are enforcing a sound ordinance that allows the venue to emit only 70 decibels at their property line. This has immediately reduced my income by thousands of dollars, taking money directly out of my pocket and food off my plate. This decision directly affects my livelihood. Bailey's is located in the heart of Old Town Temecula, which is known to be an entertainment district not only by the many businesses and entertainers that work there, but also the surrounding residents. Them and many other live music venues have suffered from the harsh fines from the city, causing them to cut down on live bands, which draw so many people from all over Southern California to enjoy this town. This has been enforced for the past 3 years, with the city official walking Old Town Front Street every Friday and Saturday night, stopping at each music venue's property line and taking a decibel reading. 70 decibels is equivalent to an average conversation between 2 people. I'm speaking louder than 70 decibels right now. I'm told there are many reasons for the recent enforcement of the sound ordinance. Councilmember Stu has said that the city only responds when there's complaints by residents. However, I don't find this possible when you can see that the city official making the same stops every single week on Friday and Saturday night. I was informed that a city official taking the readings said the last complaint was a 43 resident petition signed over 9 months ago. Councilmember Stu informed me that the city ordinance is outdated and the new council members are looking to make a change. This ordinance has been strictly enforced for 3 years. How long does it take to make a change? Will you increase the decibel requirement in Old Town's specific plan? Will there be a set curfew for live bands? Will residents be informed that they live in or near an entertainment district where special exemptions to live music will be made? Speaking of exemptions, the city of Temecula exempts itself from the current sound ordinance and continues to host its very own summer concert series at the City Hall in the heart of Old Town. Council member Stu commented on this, saying the difference is that one is for public benefit and the other is for profit. Well, I'd argue that our concerts are also for public benefit. Also, the city of Temecula generates revenue from tax-paying businesses and citizens in Old Town Temecula who depend on live music to bring in revenue. So I'm here to ask, why is the sound ordinance just now being enforced in recent years? Why is the limit 70 decibels, yet your public events and loud vehicles and motorcycles are exempt? How do we find common ground and compromise so we can all thrive in this great city? Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Kyle. Next speaker is Kevin, and after Kevin is Mark Harkey.
Hello, how are you doing? Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. My name is Kevin Scarborough. I'm a 11-year resident of Temecula, and I'm here to support the live band, but I'm not a musician. I'm actually a sound tech, and I've actually encountered a couple of you when you guys were out citing us. The thing well, first of all, it's 70 decibels. It's not 75 decibels, from my understanding. And I do sound at a lot of places, and this is the only area that is ever cited or enforced. I'm not going to start naming off other places that we play, but down on Temecula Parkway, we did a gig on March for St. Patty's Day, and there was no enforcement there. And we were allowed, and I was doing the sound. So I kind of wonder and ask why we are doing it in just the city here in the Old Town. I know Mr. Bailey here spoke, and I know everybody else has spoke about being cited and for the fines and everything else. And excuse me, my throat hurts. But the one thing I do want to talk about is things that we could do to improve or fix the sound issues, because I know Bailey's talking about putting up a sound petitioner. There's other ways of doing this too. There's ways of doing the sound. You can fix the EQ. You can cut for certain frequencies. There's other things you can do as long as everybody's educated on what to do. I'll agree. Sometimes I come down here and it's very loud. Other times it's not loud, and I hear more noise coming from the street, from the motorcycles, from the hot rods and everything else. But I just, like everybody here, I feel that, like what Steve said, that this is a community that we've become a big community, the music community. I came from Orange County, and when I moved here, this is like home now to me. And I'd hate to see us be divided like this. I'd hate to see them lose their income. When I do sound for them, I don't take any pay. I volunteer. And by the way, I was never cited by any of you guys, and knock on wood, that doesn't happen in the future. But anyhow, I just wanted to say thank you for your time. Hopefully we can come to some kind of resolution. I have been this whole time sitting here doing the decibels, and we have been averaging about 82 decibels just speaking right now, just to give you a perspective of what the decibel reading is, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. The next speaker, welcome Mark, and after Mark is Michael Stroman.
Good afternoon. I stand here as someone who has lived in Temecula since the 90s until recently. I've worked as a musician in Old Town for 24 years, and I saw the city grow into the destination city that it is. People come from all over Southern California to experience what Temecula has to offer. Music brings people together, and the music brings people together, and the music brings dollars to local businesses. Musicians who create memories for these visitors, and that causes them to keep coming back again and again. But there's a pressing issue, and it's the silencing of the heart of the community, this ridiculous noise ordinance. This law, meant to regulate sound, is unfairly choking local businesses and entertainers who rely on live music to thrive and grow. Temecula's vibrant Old Town is known for its charm, drawing visitors with the sound of music in the air and the energy of live performances. Many venues depend on live music to create experiences that keep customers coming back. But this noise restriction, which includes live music from being audible inside nearby buildings, and the measuring of these levels is unclear and somewhat arbitrary. This blanket rule doesn't account for the unique role that these venues play in our local economy and culture. For the businesses operating late, this ordinance isn't just a restriction, it's a death knell. Musicians, bartenders, and wait staff, real people with livelihoods, will lose work. A single canceled show doesn't just hurt the band, it ripples out to the fans, the employees, and the small businesses that feed off of Temecula's nightlife. This ordinance claims to protect residents, but it ignores balance. Live music isn't just noise, it's culture, it's community, it's what makes Temecula special. Other cities find solutions, sound barriers, reasonable decibel limits, and exemptions for entertainment zones. Why can't we? Instead, we're driving away talent and tourists, and we're risking a quieter but emptier town. We can do better. We need to reform Chapter 9.20. Let's place reasonable hours, clear decibel standards, and let's dialogue with business owners and musicians, and let's protect the heartbeat of Temecula, because Temecula without live music is a Temecula without soul. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome, Michael, and after Michael is Ban May.
Hello, my name is Michael Stroman. I'm a resident here in Temecula since 2013. I'm also a drummer in one of Temecula's local bands called The Other Side. I am no stranger to people complaining about loud. No stranger to it at all. Being a drummer, I've had cops come to my house on a Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock, and it's insane. When I play in this band around town, I'm honored to get to play at the wineries and also at the Vibe, formerly known as the Old Town Blues Club, and the Wine and Beer Garden, and even Bailey's, who recently stopped their live music nights due to this code enforcement, which is weird because each place has a unique decibel level for their establishment, is my understanding, instead of a blanket decibel level for outdoor entertainment. I'm also concerned of who is making these complaints and where from. And when decibel levels are being taken right next to the speaker of our band while we're playing, of course you're gonna break the rule. Maybe the decibel level should be taken from the location of the complainant. If you live on Pool Street and you complain, let's take the decibel meter out to Pool Street and find out exactly how loud we are. There needs to be an understanding that live music will have peaks of volume. So in any performance, there might be a singular drum strike that would peak that decibel level, but it is not a constant high volume. I believe that a thriving live music scene in Old Town only promotes the uniqueness and culture of Temecula and proves that we are a town eager to have both a warm shopping environment, some of the best restaurants in the Inland Empire, along with a vibrant nightlife that can only serve our great community with music, art, and entertainment. I urge you, City Council, to help us musicians, fun seekers, and local Temeculans to come to a reasonable and sensible so-called noise level so that people who chose to live close to Old Town after these live music venues have been around for a long time can understand that there will be noise and that we will also consider their concerns as well. Thank you for your time.
Welcome, Ban, and then afterwards is Danielle Collins.
Good afternoon, Mayor, council members, and city staff. My wife and I moved up here 7 years ago from San Diego. We love it. We actually live about 3 or 4 days a week in Old Town, listen to different varieties of music. We really enjoy it. We've had many people in the San Diego area say, hey, we're coming up to hang out with you guys this weekend. And matter of fact, we probably have 2 or 3 guests every 2 weeks to come up here specifically to listen to the music and also to enjoy the good vibe, the community vibe. Man, it's really great up here. I'm glad we moved 7 years ago. But really getting to the music, I was talking 2 weeks ago to an employee at Bailey's, and she's really concerned about her job with live music going away. She has a really good point. I'm quite sure, we can collaborate, at least you guys can with the local businesses, to really look at that very closely from an employment perspective. Great bands like those guys, one of my favorite, they bring a lot of joy, a lot of different things to the community. But basically, we're looking at people's livelihoods, right? There's a lot of bands and musicians that really depend on these particular events because they don't make a lot of money. You know, a lot of them do it for fun, for entertainment purposes. But at the end of the day, I hope you guys can get together with the local businesses and come to some kind of happy medium so we can really, you know, kind of get rid of that moratorium on live music and get back to having some fun in Old Town Temecula. Thank you, really appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan. Welcome, Danielle. And then the last speaker is Lori Trask.
Good evening, members of City Council, Mayor Pro Tem. My name is Danielle Collins, and I am here on behalf of the Old Town Temecula Association, and many of our board members are here in the audience as well this evening. I'm here to express the strong support for live music in Old Town Temecula. Live music has become an integral part of the vibrant atmosphere that draws both residents and visitors alike. It enhances the overall experience, creating a welcoming and lively environment that benefits local businesses, supports our retailers, and adds significantly to the local economy. We recognize the challenges involved in balancing various interests between residents and business owners, but we sincerely hope the City Council can work toward a mutual solution that allows live music to continue thriving in our town. This form of entertainment has become a cherished pillar of Old Town Temecula, and preserving it will ensure our city remains dynamic and an attractive destination for years to come. So thank you for your consideration and time.
Welcome, Lori.
Hello. I came across this letter from John Adams to Abigail Adams this past week. I'd never heard it before. And I just wanted to read a portion to you and to say thank you all for this past week and the celebration on the 4th of July. But John wrote to Abigail that the day is past, the second day of July, 1776, will be the most memorable epocha in the history of America. I am apt to believe that it will be celebrated by succeeding generations as the great anniversary festival. It ought to be commemorated as the day of deliverance by solemn acts of devotion to God Almighty. It ought to be solemnized with pomp and parade, with shows, games, sports, guns, bells, bonfires, and illuminations from one end of this continent to the other, from this time forward forevermore. He says, you will think me transported with enthusiasm, but I am not. I am well aware of the toil and blood and treasure that it will cost us to maintain this declaration and support and defend these states. Yet through all the gloom, I can see the rays of ravishing light and glory, and I can see that the end is more than worth all the means, and that posterity will triumph in that day's transaction, even although we should rue it, which I trust in God we shall not. And I just want to say thank you all for everything you do. I know the council, but also just the city staff. You guys worked hard, and it was a joy to be able to just go to the parade with my husband and my daughter to watch everything that had been put together. And I really am just thankful also for the Marines, the Marine Corps that was able to be there as far as, in my mind's blanking on, the color guard. It was just such a blessing to see. I heard a lot of responses in the crowd of the people around me thanking our military. And so to have that there, I'm hoping for future parades that'll continue. But thank you all. Thank you for your hard work. And thank you for just drawing together, getting the community together to be able to celebrate our Independence Day. So have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori. Mr. Mayor, that concludes all public comments on non-agendized items.
Thank you very much. Before we move on to city council reports, I just want to let those in the audience know that the issue of live entertainment is not on our agenda tonight, so we will not be able to have a deliberation at the council level. We can't have a back and forth with the audience out there tonight, but do know that we do hear you. We're going through our general plan amendment right now, and the sound ordinance is inside that general amendment. So we will be looking at all the decibel levels. We will be looking at all of those things. And like Mr. Bailey said, who spoke first, he met with all the council members today, and there was great progress that was made. We have steps that we will be completing and going through moving forward. So we hear you. We understand that live entertainment in Old Town is a hot issue, and we will, we'll find that middle ground. We will find that balance, and we will find solutions. I just encourage you all to stay engaged, stay involved, keep in touch with Mr. Bailey and the other residences and businesses and everyone else in the music community that is in Old Town to ensure that this council and future city councils and city staff, you hold us accountable. That's what we're up here for. We're up here to listen to the community and create change if change needs to be created. So we hear you. Stay tuned. Thank you all for coming tonight. With that, we'll move on to our city council reports. Mayor Pro Tem, would you like to start us off?
Thank you very much, Mayor. A couple things about some of the comments that were just made.
Mr. Mayor, Madam Mayor Pro Tem, you might just want to wait.
You guys might want to stay to listen to this. Just had a thought. Come on back in. We can't have discussion, but I can give a little bit of information and insight for my position here as Mayor Pro Tem and as City Councilwoman here. First off, I just want to thank all of you guys for coming in. All of the business owners, I want to thank all the musicians. Thank you to the community for your gifts and talents to our community. It is not unnoticed. And I just want to say one thing, nobody is talking about shutting you guys down. I want you guys to hear that, because it breaks my heart that I've heard several members come up and say, you guys are shutting us down. I'm going to tell you, all of us are pro-live music. At least I believe so. We continue to extend our arm to be able to do things for the community, to make it happen, to make this place lively, to make it home in so many respects and for different people. And so I want to add that. Having the opportunity to talk to 3 generations over with the Baileys was very incredible today. I've always enjoyed talking to them. We are definitely finding ways to be able to work with the businesses, work with you guys, and we want to make sure that communication continues to be open. And this kind of communication, we need to hear more from the community. This is the most people I've seen in years in here. So my biggest thing and ask is, we have the OTTA. You have our doors always open. I encourage you guys to come and talk to us if there's something that's needed. Please don't forget that we are always here for you, not just when something finally shuts down or something's closed. We need to hit it at the root cause and when it just starts. So please know that. And also, and one other note, I just want to remind everybody here, as city council members too, we have an obligation to the entire city. And we have to strike a balance. We have we have residents down here, we have other businesses. So I just want to encourage you guys, continue to work with us. We are here to work with you. We're here to listen to you, but also we have residents who do have young children. We have seniors that live down here. And so we want to make sure that we're hearing both groups and everybody. So we will continue the conversation. I'm just very thankful that all of you guys came down. Thank you to Chris and your family for making this effort, and I look forward to seeing how these doors are going to continue to go both ways. So thank you both, or thank all of you guys for coming down. So now you guys can go. All right, on my first thank you as well, I believe Lori Trask came out. I didn't even know she was going to come out, but thank you so much for allowing this opportunity to my council members, to bringing out the Marine Corps. This was a huge hit. Oh, wait, one more second. The whole audience just left. So I don't know how many of you knew. I don't even know if the council directly knew. Wow. But it was like a red light, green light, I think Aaron said it best, for probably about 45 days to know if we were even going to get the color guard. And that morning I received a phone call, and the staff sergeant called me and he said, we kind of have a problem. And I'm thinking, okay, they're not even showing up. And all of a sudden he's like, no, we have 2 color guards that showed up. So it was a true blessing. And so I just want to thank Ammo Company from Camp Pendleton, CLB 11, and First DEB for coming out for this 4th of July. And I had the captain they were just ecstatic on how incredible it was and how the community just wrapped their arms around them and just encouraged them. And so they told me they want to bring like 50 plus Marines down this path next time. So one of the things that we're looking at, I've already talked to staff about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago about this, is not only bringing back the color guard, but hopefully having the Marine Corps band come out here next year, and also possibly military vehicles as long as we're not at war. So, and even Zach and I talked about doing a flyover possibly if the city manager would let us. So a lot of good opportunities. I want to continue to bring in not only the Marine Corps as much as I have a heart for the Marine Corps, but I hope to really bring in some of the other military organizations as well, and continue to grow that. So again, thank you to all of them, and thank you to the community and my staff and council members for allowing that to happen. My second slide is going to be with Care Solace. I just want to do a monthly report. Most of you know Care Solace. I look at it as a conduit. It's an opportunity for people who are having behavioral health issues within our community, whether it's our residents, any businesses, nonprofits who are a part of that, who get an opportunity to, who are needing some type of behavioral health treatment. And it's not always accessible to everybody. And again, the City Council, I thank you guys for an extra 6 months of allowing this to continue to prosper. In the month of June, I always look at this as our last one of the self-harm and suicidal ideations. In the month of June, we had 23 individuals that were able to be saved their lives that day because of this organization and this extension from our city. So there are a lot of people that are being helped, and I'm very thankful, and I hope to continue to be able to help our community in ways such as this. So thank you again to the City Council.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Schwenk?
Thank you very much. I do have one slide, if we could go ahead and put that up. I will also speak a little bit about our Independence Day celebration and just the absolute pride that I had being able to participate in this event again. But sort of moreover, like the people that we see on the parade route over and over and over, year after year, continuing to come out and really enjoy this day. And this is just a small snapshot, right? Like we did the parade, and then you go over to Ronald Reagan Sports Park, and you've got activities and bands and fireworks. I mean, it is just a day. And I think dare I say, John Adams would be proud of Temecula and everything that we do here to celebrate and honor our independence. So, I want to also take a moment to thank the team that makes this a reality. From TCSD, the amount of time, energy, effort that our TCSD employees put into this is immense. And these events are our core. They're the backbone of our community. But it's not just TCSD, it touches all departments. I was down here bright and early that morning, and there were some deputies getting ready to go out at 7 o'clock, and I said, hey, get ready for a long day, and they said, yeah, absolutely, it's gonna be a long day. Public Works, even the traffic team that was here, we walked from our house to Ronald Reagan, and walking back, that traffic team was helping, cars get out of there, people driving to get out of there, but it's also helping pedestrians and bicyclists and people, getting home in a safe way. And so I just really want to sort of lean into a huge thank you to our core workforce that makes a day like this a reality for the community and seemingly went off, without a hitch. It was very well pulled off, and just another great special event for our community, which again, is core to our identity, and it's core to what we are. It's one of those old traditions that I hope we never see go away. So thank you all for that. And obviously to my council colleagues for continuing to support and being out there at these events and enjoying them as well. So a great day in Temecula.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Stu.
Yeah, well, no one's here to hear me say this, but there is no moratorium on live music in Old Town. I just wanted to put that out there in the public forum for anybody who might be watching this. there is no moratorium on live music. We love live music. We just got to deal with some issues, and we're dealing with that. So just to let everybody know that, and there is 1 decibel for the entire city. It's not 1 for this place, 1 for that place. That was another thing that I heard that wasn't on track. So anyways, the summer concert series. Who loves live music like Temecula? We do. And we prove it 2 Thursdays a month through the summer. And this next one, which is Thursday, is the Eagles Ronstadt Experience, which I think is going to be fantastic. If you're in town, you definitely want to come. But I kind of want to talk about 2 weeks ago, we had the Taylor Swift Experience. Not exactly my cup of tea, but there was about 1,000 girls under the age of 10 who absolutely loved it. So that kind of opened my eyes to the idea, maybe 1 or 2 of these summer concert series, we need to concentrate on the younger people in our town, because it was just such a cool family event to see all these mothers out there with their kids. And ironically, most of the mothers probably grew up with Taylor Swift. I mean, they were contemporaries, you know, so now their daughters are listening to the same music they were listening to. So it was really cool to see that experience. And going back to community services, that is really what community services does. It creates family experiences. And that, I went to the extravaganza in Ronald Reagan Sports Park, and I walked around it, and all you saw was large groupings of families everywhere you went. It was like a giant family reunion. It was just such a cool event. Everybody was on their best behavior. I didn't see a single issue with anybody, and it was just a really, really cool experience. And as far as I know, literally everybody who works in the community services department works that day. So kudos to the community services department for creating these kind of experiences for our community. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Ron.
Yeah, just a couple of quick things. I'm glad everybody left so I can have my comments on the Old Town music. But, you know, but I'll say one thing, though, is if anything was proven today was that our 3 o'clock start time is not preventing folks from showing up when there's an important item that they're interested in talking about. I think we've resolved that issue here on our very first meeting, so pretty exciting to have done that. But I think also the good news is you know, we have a good dialogue with the community. They are coming out and sharing their opinions about things, and you know, like everybody at the day has said, is we hear. You know, we're here to figure things out. We live here too. We enjoy the music. We want to support Old Town as much as we can, but recognize that there's a balance out there. Wanted to hit on a couple. I don't have slides because, you know, I didn't. It's 3 o'clock, and I was expecting to have more time this morning, so we'll calibrate on that. But I will say that both the council members Stu and I and let's see who else, Luke. We had Ron Moreno. Am I missing anybody else from the city? And then just a whole bunch of other council members from Murrieta and you know, staff from Lake Elsinore and our surrounding partners. We all had an advocacy day in Sacramento, and it went remarkably well. Focus was on infrastructure and transportation. The one thing, the big takeaway for me on that whole conversation in Sacramento was, first, we need to continue the conversation. We need to continue the advocacy. That's the only way these things are getting done. But also, I think there is a light at the end of the tunnel where Temecula and our southern Riverside region can really benefit from, you know, some strong advocacy and some real investment in the infrastructure that we need. So it was, I think, an incredible day at the Capitol, and really happy to see that happened. Also want to say it was an incredible day with y'all over at Storm Stadium too. That was a fun Temecula takeover evening. I should have brought my pictures. I had this awesome picture of me and Thunder that I'm super proud of. So big fan. But you know, I don't know if that's going to be an annual thing that we do or what. But it was a pretty cool evening there. And you know, one of the most exciting parts of that evening was that we, as council members, got to be a part of the radio broadcast that's going on. And you know, I'm sure you all got the same questions I did, and I'm sure you all did the same thing I did, which was just speak very highly of the city of Temecula and the relationship we have with city of Lake Elsinore and others. So you know, it was just a nice evening. And then I'll end with one quick comment. There was one of the residents in my district had some concerns about a tree in public right-of-way that was growing too large. And, you know, we have a tree maintenance program in the city, and it goes on this cycle, much like a lot of things do, but it was important to her. And I just wanted to put a shout out to the city staff and city manager's office for taking that complaint seriously. I was disappointed because work got the best of me on the day I was supposed to go out and be there while they were trimming the trees, just because, you know, who doesn't like to watch a good tree trimming? But, you know, it was just, I think, very nice to see the city be responsive to, you know, community requests. And those little touches, I know, are out of sequence and maybe not a planned, you know, response or whatever, but those little touches really are meaningful to folks, and the kind words that were shared with me afterwards and all that, I think really it's part of what makes Temecula a very unique and very special city. So I just wanted to say thank you for doing that service in our district. Thanks.
Thank you for all that. I just have one slide, and it actually perfectly leads into what Councilmember Ron was talking about, is Temecula Takeover. We had like 20 pictures, and I wish I could put all of them up here, but it was such a great night. This was the first time that we've partnered with the Storm on creating jerseys, so that was so fun for everyone. I know that a lot of the citizens were like, can we purchase these jerseys? So maybe next year we can look into something, a sales of the Temecula jersey. But what a fun night. All 5 of us were there. Like Councilmember Ron said, that we were all had the opportunity to talk with Councilmember in Lake Elsinore, Tim Sheridan, on the radio. But such a great family night. So we were all fortunate to spend our night out in Lake Elsinore there. And I just want to also echo my colleagues on the 4th of July. That entire day was truly amazing. That was the first time, you know, being here 33 years now, that was the first time my family and I had ever gone to the 4th of July parade, fun fact. So I've never been in my history in Temecula, and that was the first time, and it was such an amazing experience. And to have my first time be the mayor of the city was truly special. And like all my colleagues said, the staff, the way they put on those events, and RSO being out there and ensuring everything stayed safe was truly such an amazing day, and I had such a great time. And I just wanted to, again, thank Councilmember Ron and Councilmember Stewart for their advocacy in Sacramento. That goes a long way, and a lot of times you don't realize that we don't always just do work in Temecula. We go up to Sacramento, we go to neighboring cities, regional subcommittees. So there's always things that we are doing that, you know, we go outside of Temecula to hopefully bring back benefits and funding to Temecula. And I want to lastly hit on the tree trimming. I remember, I think it was 2.5 years ago now, a similar circumstance where someone in my district had a tree that was in the right of way, and it was the same thing. I got the opportunity to go watch them trim the trees, and it's like, I would never thought I would have enjoyed that a few years ago. But kudos to our Public Works Department and our city staff for taking issues like that and making them a priority. I know all of my colleagues and myself is much appreciated. So thank you again to city staff for all the events you put on. Thank you to Stu for the 72 Mustang that he let me drive in the 4th of July parade. It had a little less horsepower than Ron's Mustang, the Shelby, but it was a great experience, great time, and I'm just grateful to be in the position that I am in, and I know it, my colleagues echo that. So with that, we will move on to our consent calendar. All right, item number 1, waive reading of title and text of all ordinances and resolutions included in the agenda. Item number 2, approve action minutes of June 10th and June 23rd, 2025. Item number 3, approve list of demands. Item number 4, approve city treasurer's report for the periods of April 1st, 2025 through April 30th, 2025, and May 1st, 2025 through May 31st, 2025. Item number 5, adopt ordinance number 2025-09, amending Chapter 2.04.020 of the Temecula Municipal Code regarding the time, date, location, and order of business of regularly scheduled meetings, second reading. Item number 6, adopt ordinance number 2025-10, approving an amendment to the Temecula Hospital Plan Development Overlay, PDO-9, located at 31700 Temecula Parkway, APN 959-080-039, PA 22-0105, second reading. And to keep it on par with previous votes, Councilmember Ron will be abstaining. And Mr. City Attorney, did you have an announcement you wanted to make?
Yeah, I can make that announcement real quick. Councilmember Ron, as you said, will abstain on item number 6. He is performing pro bono consulting work for the International Association of Firefighters on development of the Center of Excellence for Firefighter Behavioral Health that is in discussion on a collaboration with UHS, a parent company for Temecula Valley Hospital. Since this is on the consent calendar, he does not need to leave the council chamber unless a council member asks to have it pulled for discussion, and the minutes will reflect this statement on his abstention.
Thank you for that,
when
Mr.
the
Forsyth.
vote comes up, you can vote yes, because that will reflect that you've abstained.
Thank you, Mr. Thorson. Item number 7, approve side letter to the Memorandum of Understanding, approve amended and restated management compensation plan, revise the salary schedule approved on May 27, 2025 to correct a clerical error, $146.85, and a calculation of the cost of living adjustment for the city manager, which brings the monthly salary to a corrected amount of $29,894.05. Item number 8, approve addendum to the software as a service agreement with governmentjobs.com Inc., DBA NeoGov for NeoGov suite of products. Item number 9, approve 5th amended and restated joint powers agreement for the Southwest Communities Financing Authority Animal Shelter. Item number 10, approve design cooperative agreement with the State of California Department of Transportation for I-15 French Valley Parkway improvements, Phase 3, PW 19-03. And lastly, item number 11, approve agreements with NPG Inc. and Hardy and Harper Inc. for paving services for fiscal years 2026 through 2030. I will entertain a motion. In a second. That has been moved and seconded. And the consent calendar passes unanimously, 5-0. With that, I will recess the city council meeting to the Temecula Community Services District and President Schwenk.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I will now call the Temecula Community Services District meeting to order. Madam Secretary, please note that we're all still here. Do we have any public comments on non-agenda items? Darn it. All right, we have 2 items on our consent calendar. We have item 12, approve action minutes of June 10th, 2025. We have item 13, approve sponsorship agreement with Disability Sports Foundation in support of human services programs and activities. I will entertain a motion for that, but I do have a question on 13. If we start having any sort of conversation, I'll pull it and we'll figure it out. But I would like to ask Director Russo a quick question on 13. So I was reading through the agreement. Now, this is for nonprofit services at Mike Nagar Community Park, but they're using the Eagle Soar Playground and Splash Pad. And one of the items says, the nonprofit will provide access to waterproof wheelchairs, resources, and materials for the program at no cost to the city. Are they using the splash pad?
Well, they can't use the splash pad this summer because of the unplanned emergency maintenance we need to be doing on it. Essentially, the splash pad at Mike Nagar Park, Eagle Soar Splash Pad, had 2, maybe 3, depending on how you count, significant failures. There were a couple of broken underground lines, and then the tank broke. So typically, yes, that program does provide exactly what you described, and every summer they do utilize the splash pad there for their inclusive social skills program. We also utilize it for some of our other inclusive programming there, in addition to the splash pad itself having specific features that make it inclusive. We also use it for our inclusive programming, like our SKIP Summer Ice Cream Social. So to answer your question, yes, typically that is exactly what takes place, but this summer they will not be able to utilize that space because the splash pad is not operable at this point.
Okay, and it's not, is it possible to move this to the CRC and try to utilize that space?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not, because the CRC splash pad is already operating at capacity every day. So particularly with that splash pad being down, there's additional pressure on the CRC splash pad already. And then in the afternoons at the CRC pool, we have public swim. And during public swim, there's so much impact to the splash pad from the people who are there utilizing the pool for public swim, because they're contiguous areas, that we can't open it separately for just utilizing that space. I hope that makes sense. It's kind of.
Yeah, no, I mean, I kind of suspected that was the answer just because the impacts are pretty great anyways. I mean, this is concerning to me, you know, the amount of like folks that use the splash pad and the fact that it's still down. I think, you know, we need to move on it and get it back up, right? If you want to scroll through the city's social media feed and read all the wonderful comments about how people are so excited that the splash pad is broken, go for it. But I think I really think we gotta move on this, because it's not just these events, but even I'm seeing at like the summer food service program, attendance is down. Like we're seeing attendance down on these events that are really like core to the summer. And I know we have a plan, I know we're working towards it, but I really feel like we need to accelerate that, make that a little more of a reality for our community.
Let me ask a question on that topic, because my plan, make sure it's in line with your plan or the council's plan, but given that the repairs of this splash pad are estimated in excess or in the range of like $150,000, let's call it, beyond my authority, beyond sort of anything that we've planned for or budgeted, I was planning to sort of tackle that priority in our September workshop when we're sort of sitting down with the council on CIP-related projects. I don't think there's a way, even if we started greenlit it today, there's like a 2-month probably lag in terms of ordering underground tanks and things of that nature. So this summer's probably shot, unfortunately, to try to save it. But if the timeline is acceptable to you, I was planning to sort of bring this forward, highlight it, spotlight it, and if this is the council priority, and I imagine it probably is, we'll figure out a way to sort of get that funding reappropriated for that project and sort of, you know, get this thing back up and running as soon as possible. So that was going to be the plan.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, I don't know all the ins and outs of the, you know, the lead times on this stuff, so, you know, that's frustrating. I just know that this is something that community needs, right? They need it now. There is another splash pad on Nicholas Road that was part of Nicholas Heights development that the HOA isn't actually upholding their end of the bargain. So I think we need to lean on them to get them to open up this splash pad so that we at least relieve a little bit on this front. And I know we're working on that. I know we're out there monitoring it. I was out there a couple times. It doesn't look like it's been running at all, and that's frustrating as a condition of approval for development, and they're not holding up their end. That really, really frustrates me. But again, you know, I see this on the agenda, and I'm going, well, there's no way they're going to be able to use the splash pad here, and that was really core to that park was, you know, especially the special needs side of it. It's giving those kids, those families an opportunity in a really safe space to enjoy inclusive play in the way that we do. So I'm just bringing this up to bring attention to it. I think it's important that we work as quickly as we can to get it back online. So.
Move approval.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Let us vote. Okay, and that passes 5-0. We'll go ahead and move on to our Community Services Director's report.
Hi there, just a couple of items this evening, or afternoon. The first one is our art walk this Friday, July 11th. That's going to be over at the Merc and the lot on Main Street. We bring out a lot of artisans. They set up their wares. It's a great opportunity to just walk around Old Town. The vibe, as Councilmember Stewart would say, is very good. So highly recommend everybody check that out if you're in Old Town on this Friday evening. Next slide, please. And then the following day on Saturday, the 12th, from 11 to 1 p.m., Over at Sam Hicks Monument Park, we will have Culture Days featuring the culture, cuisine, and music of Kenya. And that will be in the park out in front of the museum. And for any of you who haven't had a chance to visit that museum, I highly encourage you to check it out. It's also very nice. That concludes my report.
Great, thank you very much. General Manager, anything?
Nothing further, Mr. President.
Thanks, sir. Board of Directors, anything? All right, seeing nothing, we're adjourned.
All right, with that, we will move to the successor agency to the Temecula Redevelopment Agency. I will call to order. Madam City Clerk, please note that we are all still here. Do we have any public comments on non-agenda items? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to our SARDA consent calendar. Number 14, approve action minutes of June 10th, 2025. I'll entertain a motion and a second.
Second.
That has been moved and seconded. And that passes 5-0. SARDA Executive Director report.
Nothing tonight.
Board of Directors. All right, with that, I will adjourn the SARDA meeting. Temecula Housing Authority meeting, we do not have one. Temecula Public Financing Authority, we do not have a meeting. I will reconvene the Temecula City Council meeting, and also I will recess the Temecula City Council meeting. We do have a few public hearing items that were publicly noticed to be at 6 p.m., so we will have to wait until 6 p.m. to hold those public hearings. So with that, I will recess our City Council meeting until 6 p.m. We will see you then.
Thank you, IT. Mr. Mayor, because we have two public hearings, and the first public hearing, item number 15, was publicly noticed for this date at 3 p.m. The second hearing was publicly noticed prior to council's decision of moving council meetings to 3 p.m. We will go ahead and hold the 3 p.m. hearing now, given that Mr. Bieri is in the audience, and then we will take a recess afterwards.
Perfect. All righty, with that, we will move on to item number 15, consider third amendment to the development agreement by and between the City of Temecula and Lennar Homes, Inc., a California corporation, and Winchester Hills, LLC, a California limited liability company, planning application number PA 25-0016. Can we have a staff report, please?
Tim Alexander, and for the early start time today. As you stated, this is PA 25-0016, the Winchester Hills Development Agreement, Amendment Number 3. This is the third amendment to the development agreement between City of Temecula, Lennar Homes, and Winchester Hills. The amendment will rescind the first amendment to the development agreement and reinstate the original term of the development agreement. The third amendment is at the request of the applicant and not by the City of Temecula. So a little bit of background. August of 2001, the City Council approved the original development agreement. October of 2007, the City Council approved the first amendment to the development agreement. The amendment extended the term of the original agreement. January of 2023, the City Council approved the second amendment to the development agreement. The second amendment is the same as the third amendment tonight, but on a different portion of the property. So the original development agreement exempted the owner-developer from paying TUMF and MSHCP fees. The first amendment extended the term of the development agreement, and when that happened, the WRCOG and RCA took a position that as soon as you amended the development agreement, the developer was no longer exempt from those fees. So the second amendment, again, rescinded the extension of the term of the development agreement, did not make any other revisions to the development agreement with respect to the development of the property, and it allowed the owner to go back to the WRCOG and the RCA to get exemptions from those fees. So again, the third amendment is the second as the same, rescinds the extension of the term, does not make any other revisions to the agreement, and then it would allow the developer again to go back to WRCOG and the RCA. This is the amendment area, which is also known as the Prado Project. It's 237 small lot single-family homes. The second amendment signees were Heirloom Farms, Audi, Solana Winchester Apartments, the Lantern Crest Assisted Living, and then the commercial parcel across the street from Lantern Crest. And then again, today is Meritage Homes, who is the developer of Prado. In terms of environmental, it's exempt from environmental for section 15061B3, which is the general rule, because it can be seen without certainty that there is no possibility that the adoption of the ordinance may have a significant effect on the environment. This did go before Planning Commission in May of this year. They recommended approval by the City Council. And then with that, staff does recommend the City Council approve PA 250016, adopted an ordinance approving the third amendment to the development agreement. I'm here for any questions, and the applicant, Mr. Bury, is here as well.
Thank you very much. Any questions of city staff? Councilman Ron.
Just a quick one on the RCA and WRCOG. They're aware of this action tonight, and are they sort of tacitly in agreement that this is a
They
good
are aware, because they
strategy?
also went through it with the second amendment.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Seeing no more questions, I will open the public hearing. Madam City Clerk, do we have any public comments? I will close the public hearing. And with that, we can either deliberate, and I will entertain a motion.
Move approval.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Let us vote. And item number 15 passes unanimously, 5-0. With that, I will now recess our Temecula City Council meeting for our last public hearing, item number 16, at 6 p.m., 1 hour and 5 minutes from now. See you then. All right, we will reconvene the Temecula City Council meeting, and we will start off with our public hearing. Item number 16 here. Adopt resolution to approve the solid waste and recycling rates for commercial customers for fiscal year 2025-2026. Can we have a staff report, please?
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members, and city staff. Welcome back. My name is Rebecca Kaiser. I'm one of the management analysts for the Public Works Departments. And as mentioned, this public hearing is to consider the proposed CR&R solid waste and recycling rates for fiscal year 25 and 26. So the city's franchise agreement with CR&R allows for CPI, Consumer Price Index, and landfill tipping fee adjustments, as well as any extraordinary cost increases if necessary. At this time, no requests for extraordinary increases were submitted for fiscal year 25-26. The CPI and landfill tipping fee adjustments shall be made effective each July 1st, subject to this public hearing. So City Council set the public hearing date on May 13th of 2025, and notices of the public hearing were sent to all commercial customers, which was in total 1,121 customers to be exact, the week of May 23rd, 2025. If any of the affected parcel owners would have liked to submit a protest, they would have had to submit a written protest to our City Clerk's Department by 5 p.m. today. So at this time, I would like to ask our City Clerk to please provide the number of protests received as of 5 p.m. today.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, for the record, there were no protests received.
Perfect. So with that, the collection service component rates shall be increased per the Bureau of Labor and Statistics for January 2024 through December of 2024. The designated CPI has increased by 2.01%. The landfill disposal rate per the County of Riverside Waste Management Department will be adjusting their rates by 2.88% or $1.43 per ton. So with that, commercial customers can expect an average increase of $3.23 per month, and this is all dependent on bin size and collection frequency. So for example, 1 2 cubic yard bin that is serviced once a week, the current customer is paying $140.51 per month, and that would then be increased to $143.46 per month. Another example would be a 4 cubic yard bin that's also serviced once per week. The current rate is $179.62 per month, and that would then be increased to $183.13 per month. So staff's recommendation is to adopt the resolution of the City of Temecula approving the solid waste and recycling rates for commercial customers for fiscal year 2025 through 2026. Thank you. I'm here to answer any questions you may have. Also joining me is Alex Berkovich, the Vice President of CR&R, who's also here to answer any questions that you guys may have. Thanks.
Thank you very much for that staff report, and thank you, Alex, for coming tonight. Any questions of my colleagues? Absolutely, Mayor Pro Tem.
Alex, if I can just steal your ear for a minute. Just out of curiosity, I know we've had meetings in the past, but looking at how electric trucks are being still mandated, I would presume, what does that look like for upcoming rates in the future? Is that something that is already on discussion?
Yeah, a great question. The issue of electric trucks is kind of on a pause right now.
Okay.
Just because of the global picture of what's going on. CARB in and of itself has put some of the mandates on hold. We were afraid of having to start investing in electric trucks here shortly, but as of right now, we're allowed to still purchase compressed natural gas, or what we call renewable natural gas trucks. So we're going to proceed in that way just because our entire infrastructure is set up for renewable natural gas.
Absolutely. That was it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Seeing no more questions, I will open the public hearing. Madam City Clerk, do we have any public comments? I will close the public hearing, and I will entertain discussion and/or motion.
Second.
That has been moved and seconded. Let us vote. And item number 16 passes unanimously, 5-0. With that, we will move to our second section of public comments on non-agenda items. Madam City Clerk, do we have any public comments?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, we have 2 public comments. Our first speaker is Laurel Lamont, to be followed by Bernard Budney.
Welcome.
Hi, sorry, missed the party earlier. Forgot it was moved to 3 in the habit, 6 o'clock. Okay, so I want to talk about what the non-agenda comments and what the room was filled with earlier, apparently. The live music in Old Town, as I'm a resident of Old Town. I live at Warehouse at Creekside, just across the street, right behind Bailey's and the Stampede, and behind Luke's. The city had an opportunity to ensure that developments like Warehouse at Creekside were built with proper soundproofing and habitability in mind. Instead, the lack of construction standards has placed residents in a difficult position. And it's not fair, because these are affordable housing residents, and affordable housing comes with a stigma. So they're very unlikely to show up here and put a spotlight on themselves and make themselves the bad guy. That no way lessens the value of their quality of life. Now, affordable housing, the one I live in, Luke's, Cameron Historic Building, those were all RDA invested. And that was a lot, millions of dollars from RDAs. And the fact that the city didn't implement a development standard, that is an accountability that we need to face. That, or, you know, we didn't zone and communicate to the businesses of the residents. There's so many things at play here. So let's just acknowledge that somebody dropped the ball in this, and how do we move forward? But it's definitely not pinning the tenants against the establishments, because live music ending at 10, I don't think has ever been an issue. I have brought noise and issues to this dais many times. It was a concert in the parking lot, and it's the boom boom from the clubbing till 2 o'clock in the morning. That's where the noise, because it reverberates all through the buildings. Live music's lovely. It's lovely to hear it through the windows because it's lovely music. And it ends at 10, and most of us go to bed then anyway. But let's resolve this without making the tenants the enemy. Let's do better and build those relationships stronger. Thank you.
And the last speaker is Bernard Budney.
Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members, and all. I want to stress immediately that this is of a congratulatory note, okay? It seemed not long ago, prior to the national election, that we heard the phrase, "Let's go Brandon." Actually, on on what should be considered a positive note, the same phrase might be used for the citizens of Brandon, Mississippi, in case you never heard of it, who supported the youth at a football game. An article in the Jackson, Mississippi Journal, the Clarion Ledger, entitled "Judge Shouldn't Block Brandon's Band Song," tells the story of the event approximately 10 years ago. It begins. It is sad that a school district in Brandon had to cave into a judge for not allowing a high school band to play "How Great Thou Art." Those relatives and friends of the band who stood up and sang that hymn deserve a standing ovation themselves. How could something that could only help to produce good citizens be considered an illegal act? I would suggest to the judge that Christian influence has something to do with a city's quality of life. My own community, Temecula, and adjacent Murrieta in California, have been rated among the 10 safest cities in America. Apart from the Christian churches and synagogues, we have the following: Good News Clubs in 26 public elementary schools in these 2 cities and nearby communities, Christian youth clubs, a Christian K-12 school, Project Touch for the area's homeless and needy, monthly business meetings by Christian businessmen and women in the local Chamber of Commerce, and a weekly speakers forum involving activities of a multitude of ministries. There are numerous Bible studies occurring in churches and individual homes. We also have a Bible college in Murrieta. That was then, that is not now, I know. These are cities that would likely approve the singing the hymn, "How Great Thou Art," at a public location. Why not in yours? That article ends. It can be found in the Bible, the importance of strong families as foundational to strong communities and ultimately a strong nation. The support given to that Brandon Schools band demonstrates strong families and a strong community. I want to believe that we have done our very best here in Temecula over the years in this respect. Let's continue so and not falter. So again, on a most positive note and connotation, let's go Mayor Brendan. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Mayor, that is the last comment. There are no further public comments.
Thank you very much. That was a great way to end the last comment. We will move on to items for future city council agendas. Do any of my colleagues have any items for future city agendas? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to our city manager report.
Nothing further tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. City attorney report. Thank you very much. All right, with that, we will adjourn this meeting until our next meeting, which will be July 22nd, 2025 at 3 p.m. We'll see you then.